What's up, suckers? I've got a plant here that I haven't touched in a hot minute. I actually did a full video on this guy and ended up not really doing much with it because I was kind of hoping it would just, take off and grow like my other ones. As soon as you give them new soil or transplant them into anything, they really take off. And it's been almost a little over a year now and it still hasn't done anything. I'm going to go through the old position that I used to do with my Reddit group when I first started out. So yeah, today I'm gonna try to see what's going on and why it's not growing. When I first got it, it had a lot of damage, and I stuck it in this blue pot and thought, okay, yeah, totally, put it on my top porch, it'll take off, and it's literally just sat and done nothing. All the spots where I had pulled off the original leaves did in fact end up scarring up, but it hasn't really done anything. It's not opening up. Its young pup over here still only has 3 leaves. One of them I ended up having to break off because it had gotten a little too much sun damage, and so now it's just doing nothing. So I'm going to try to rejuvenate this plant and cross my fingers that there's nothing else going on beneath the soil that I can't see, but I find this highly comical that nothing has happened, and I've taken all the right steps and gone the right direction. So there's always errors in any kind of care that you give, whether it be plants or animals. Always errors. It's not dead. It's still very much alive, so I'm happy for that, but it's just doing nothing. So I'm gonna try to figure out what's going on. So I'll just start. There's really no good way to start, but I first want to see if it's root bound. And guessing from this, it kind of is. So I will very gently empty this soil into a pot I have set aside from my last project upstairs. So we'll just see. It's all wet underneath the surface, but it's dried out on top because I lifted it out. And it sat in the sun. And then this week we've been having a lot of frost and freeze warnings, so I haven't wanted to do anything with my succulents just in case they go through shock. And shock is not something I want my succulents to go through, especially when it's this cold. So I'm going to start out just emptying off the good soil on top, holding both succulents closest to the base where the roots connect. And this succulent is turning my hand white, as I suspected it would, so that's fine. Let's find out what's going on with these roots. Nothing. Literally nothing. It's fine. It could totally grow. It just won't. It's not. Don't lose that. So I'm actually going to try to transplant this into this pot, something a little smaller. See, it's just doesn't want to grow. It's giving me full attitude. And it's, of course, like I said, it's turning my hand white, but that's just from the powder on the outside. The powder itself deters mites and other bugs from trying to ultimately eat the stem. They could climb up it so it doesn't freak them out, and they can climb inside the leaves and build webs. But even the spiders that are on my porch haven't touched this guy. So now I'm really curious. What's going on, guys? Like, even my spider bros above my head would be able to tell me that something's wrong with my succulent, and they won't even touch it. So is there something wrong with my succulent? So I'm gonna stir up my soil. Hope you like the back of my head. What a good video. Like I said, this is nice and moist, so I don't see a reason why it wouldn't grow to this specifically. So we're gonna try this out and see what's maybe if I just need to not necessarily downsize the pot, because I still want the height for it, but I want to see if maybe there's something else going on. So we're going to be really soft. So like I said, I'm just gripping from the roots as close to the roots as possible, keeping the direction of which it's growing. I'm not going to pack the roots this tight. I'm going to let that lean up here for a second. Again, kids, use gloves. At this point, I've been doing this long enough that if I leave my gloves downstairs and tell myself, hey, go get your gloves, I'll forget it anyways. It's kind of what I do. And then I reap the rewards of my silliness later when I go to wash my hands and realize I've got splinters everywhere. Trying to figure out where they came from. What the heck? How could this be? I'm just gonna pull this baby up. Push this towards the back. And then I don't want the adult leaning the whole time. I do want it facing the direction of its normal growth. And try to do something similar with this baby, though there is 1, 2, 3, there is a leaf in there. That's cool. Hey, alright. So there's some growth. There's, let's see, 2 on the outside, 2 in the middle, and 2 on the inside. So it is growing, albeit slowly, but it is growing. And just one more scoop to face that baby up against, and then keep the parent up, and then I'm just going to tap it twice, and that should be, cross my fingers, enough to help this guy. That way if the parent gets too heavy, it'll have something to lean back on. But if, there we go, just a little bit jerk. I was going to say, I inspected this entire plant right before I did this video, so there's no mites, no bugs, no, literally nothing. So we are going to try that. Again, cross my fingers. Next plant that I need to assist is this guy. This isn't a succulent, so don't get too excited. Oh my gosh, I have one of those in my kitchen. Yeah, no. This guy needs some help, though. This guy needs some help. So let's see what we can do. This is a really cool pot, so I want to keep it, but as always, the original plants aren't kept in said pot. They're always kept in a plastic pot on the inside, and then when you get them, they're so root bound and your plant starts to dwindle and not look so great, and you feel bad. So, as per normal, just breaking up said roots. I want to keep the life in it. And then, yeah, like I said, plastic pot. I am, however, going to use this pot to scoop in the soil and get that to fill in. I'll be perfectly honest with you, I think my cat peed in this pot of soil that I'm currently using. It's got quite a scent to it, so I'm kind of... He's such a good helper. Alright, and that's where we're going to start. I just split it in half completely. I'm not going to worry about really playing with anything else until I get this guy looking a little less brown on the inside. Low to medium sun, keep soil damp, room temperature. I've been keeping this guy inside, especially because we've got a lot of frost. I'll put it outside kind of during the day and let it get a little bit more sunlight than it does in my normal apartment, but other than that, I'm gonna pull off some of the dead matter here. I don't want that getting water, and then the rest of the plant just not doing great. That's what I do with my succulents. It's what I'll do with my houseplants. Here we go. Just trying to clean that up here, give it some nice places to spread out. Yeah, I don't even though the stems feel fine, I don't want the plant to continue to be paid attention to from the inside and then have other parts of the plant start to fail. So that's what we're gonna do with that guy. He's actually laying a little bit flatter, so hopefully get this guy back to life. Set it off to the side. And we finished you. So I'm gonna leave you. I don't wake you in immediate sun, but I'm gonna put you where you still get sun, only for a couple hours in the day. Now, oh yeah, see, there's even water in the bottom. That could be a problem. And then this pot is actually really good, really thick, so I can use it for something else. Just momentarily. Now, even though this guy's already got a pot, I'm actually going to give it new soil. Because the lady I got it from, yeah. Kind of what I expected. Like, it looks good, but it definitely needs some pick-me-up. I'm going to set this off to the side momentarily. And she definitely packed the soil in there, that's for sure. So I'm going to loosen all this up. Also give it some brand new soil. And then just use my shovel and dig a small hole. I'm only packing the sides. I don't want to pack the base because I want to provide the roots with enough room to officially go the direction that they need, and I'm going to repack this appropriately. So if this is growing like that, get my hole a little bit deeper. Hold that there. So I want to go the direction of the original growth without damaging the plant. There's a little bit of brown in that. That's okay. This is called a Porthos. Porthos. It's a very viney plant. Potentially could get lots more of this to grow. I don't want to pack it in the soil, but I want to provide enough room at the base. There we go. There's only one branch that I'm specifically worried about, but kinda. Alright. So, just because it hasn't grown as much, I don't want to completely put it in a brand new pot, something bigger, something that'll provide more room until I'm absolutely sure that it has grown the direction that I want it to. And then since the original soil that it was in is still nice and moist, I'll pack that on top. And again, I've been growing this inside just because of the frost. So this one and the one I just did previously are my inside plants. So that's how we're gonna do that. This has a lot of nodes, and I'm hoping these are brand new branches that will provide more leaf cover. So I want to definitely give them the perfect amount of sunlight, provided that they can reach it wherever I put it. So let's cross our fingers. Alrighty. Yep. My next video, I'm going to do a kind of update on some of the plants that I repotted literally at the beginning of the year, because one of them is right by my back door and it's huge. So I'm really excited about that. So that's where I'm going to stop this video, and then that's where I'll start the next video. Because, yeah, it's after I moved everything around my porch, after I did a couple pick-me-ups with a couple plants, I thought, okay, give it some time, and they're definitely going the direction I want them to, and they're definitely taking off. And then I'll also redo some propagation with some of the plants that I have out here. So that's also a direction that we're going to go. It's dirty. Alright. Well, till next time. Peace out, suckers.